Welcome back to this glorious office. I have a couple friends joining today to discuss the very important business that happened in the business place. Check out the Patreon for the longer version of what I'm sure is about to become a scintillating conversation. My name is Ashley Clements.
My name is Maxwell Glick.
And
I am here as well.
Yay! Thank you so much for committing to my bit. And this is the Look Back Diaries.
Oh.
Yay! Thanks for being here, friends.
Thanks for having
Rachel
us.
wrote this episode, and Max is in this episode, and so am I. So
That's why we're all here.
Oh,
It's very well planned out.
Wow.
Thank
good job.
you. Rachel, you're repping a hat that is an inside joke. Would you like to explain?
Well, it's not really an inside joke. It's just a baseball team from Canada. It's not Winnipeg. This is from Winnipeg.
There's Winnipeg, Manitoba.
That's half of Winnipeg, and this is also half of Winnipeg.
So here we are celebrating Canada because Rachel, and the reason I asked about it is because Rachel is the one who sent Collins to Winnipeg, Manitoba eventually, and because that was a place you had been and enjoyed.
I think it was originally a different writer who suggested, I don't remember who, suggested Collins having like the girlfriend in Canada because it's amazing and funny. And then Max and I actually met on the internet right after I got back from Winnipeg during the early days of Lizzie Bennet Diaries. Yeah.
Can't trust who you meet on the internet.
I mean, it didn't turn out well, so I have regrets.
Wait, you met like separately from Lizzie Bennet, or you met?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Just because the internet was. I don't think I realized that you two knew each other before.
Like literally because of Twitter and the Winnipeg Jets.
And now we're still friends.
We're still
wonderful.
Somehow it just works, Rachel, right? You know?
That's what we tell people.
Well, I'm so glad that your friendship could continue to blossom in the context of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, where you snuck in some inside jokes. Let's see if there's any in this episode, because as we discussed before I started recording, none of us remember what happens in this. I think it's the first mention of Catherine, is what I think. And I think that because it's called Royal Dining. I don't know, it also sounds like the name of a cat food brand or something. Like, Royal Dining. Well, here we go.
All right.
So it's just me today. Charlotte is meeting with a prospective client. Yes, she's working on a Sunday again. And she thought that me...
I have already discussed that we say that a lot in this section when we're in Collins, because we're like suddenly very concerned with like explaining when we're recording for my Monday postings, but I don't think anyone actually would have thought that much about it.
Oh, the Canada fiance. There it is.
Which is a little bit of an Avenue Q reference, right?
My name is Lizzie Bennet, and tomorrow I dine with royalty.
My girlfriend who lives in Canada. Written by Rachel Kiley.
Such a good title.
You may or may not have come up with it, honestly, as I've pulled old scripts.
I'm
for the
terrible
most
with
part,
titles.
The titles changed, and you pretty much gave up on writing them. You were like, they're going to change, I'm not writing
I
it.
hate titles. I'm terrible at titles.
Anyway, I am
you were like, episode 53.
About this dinner. I mean, the way Ricky talks about
I
Catherine makes her seem like
have discussed that like my outfits are very kind of random in this period of time, and I think I'm just wearing a sweater dress because it's fall now.
Yeah.
So this is just
I think so.
sweater.
You know, besides...
Hello!
Where did you come from?
Winnipeg, Manitoba.
God, you're so scruffy.
Perfect.
You're so scruffy.
And it was a little habit.
Recently is because I have been otherwise engaged, and by
Engaged.
I realized that you would deduce that I am promised to be married, but it is actually a double entendre.
I forgot
I
this
will
dialogue.
stay my lovely fiancé in Winnipeg,
I mean,
Manitoba.
like,
Oh.
I don't know that you had gotten to... Oh, no, you also wrote Collins and Lydia's episode, so you had written for him
You know
before.
better than I do at this point.
Than simply a few days.
I'm pretty sure that's right. But it's just so much words.
So much words.
Well,
Exquisite.
It's very
problems.
impressive
Is it?
memorization.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks.
They're very nice.
You look like you're having traumatic flashbacks, Max.
Superlative section of the
Trying to get just. It's just all the words. It's just,
It's really impressive.
Oh,
I
it's
remember
you in
Bernie
the
like
car park with
extended them
Brett.
all too.
Find it very impressive.
Yeah,
Bernie
that
loved
seems
that
good.
line.
Charlotte gave me a very
Which one?
impressive tour
The
last week.
breathtaking
So you've
car
observed
park.
how Miss Kiley was
Yes,
was
now I remember
so-
that. And we also were looking at a parking garage, like, from that room.
And speaking of Mr. Berg,
Really great filming.
This isn't another job offer, is it?
oh, no,
You just
of course not.
always have
Well, one
envelopes
would
on
surmise
you.
that you are indubitably in awe of the tremendous opportunity that you
Indubitably.
previously declined.
Oh,
This is instead some information for tomorrow evening.
Every
Colin's
word
like
has
not a
Try
fan.
hard dialogue.
It's a list.
Well, I didn't want you to be ill-prepared for your dining with Mr. Berg.
Oh yeah, and this list I
I'm sure
recall
you
being
want to
very
make the most
Rachel because it's like
favorable
super
impression on her,
random.
And I feel it is my duty to offer my
Well, you have more memories about this
experience
than I do
for
already.
you, so you can take advantage over your
How did I have so much
inexperienced
hair?
self in the situation.
that's a lot of hair.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, it's my pleasure. Oh, and don't worry about proper dress for tomorrow. No one can rival the stately attire of Mr. Berg. So if you'd simply choose the least offensive outfit you've brought
Nice.
along with you, I'm certain that would be more than satisfactory.
Hmm.
Well, farewell, Miss
Punch
Bennet.
it. Punch him in the face.
Oh, that's brutal.
Eat each type of food on your plate.
Yeah, wait, these I remember being
separately, one item
super
at a time.
random.
If you must utilize a knife, do so with your left hand. Never say the
Why
word
would she
catalog.
flout
Avoid
proper
wearing any
European
accessories or
table manners?
hints of cerulean. If time allows,
Cerulean.
memorize all the songs from Ms. de Berg's favorite musicals. See full list on last page.
Did we specify what her favorite musical was?
Let's find out.
Wow.
No.
Okay. Well,
Nah,
one thing's for sure.
Tell us in the
Should
comments
prove
what
to
you
be a
think her
dinner to
favorite
remember.
musical would
And
have
Charlotte, don't
been.
worry. I promise to be on my best behavior to both Ricky and Mr. Berg. I know you want to do well here, and I want you to. I'm trying. I promise. See?
Oh,
Do not extend your thumbs outward while the remainder of your fingers are curled in towards your palm.
that is how you would describe that. Don't do it. Well,
Wow, that was very well done, Rachel. Good job.
wow,
writing
memories.
Got through a lot of words.
Really a lot of words.
that.
I
think-
will share
yeah.
a memory. Max, I bet this will spark a memory with you. I talk about it because I've already recorded with Craig in a few episodes when Craig shows up. But I bet you'll remember this about this day. And Craig gets to go like, oh, I'm so sorry about this in future episodes. But also like it's 10 years later and it's funny now. But do you recall that we started the day with Craig and that Craig didn't know his lines? And that we took the entire first half of the day up till lunch getting his 2 episodes and the Q&A, which meant that after lunch we had 6 episodes to do with that kind of crazy heavy dialogue.
Yes.
And you and I were both like so mad about it. Like I remember coming out to change at some point and you were like, what is going on? And I was like, can't talk right now, but be on your shit. Because I was like, we're gonna have to fly after lunch. And we did.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah.
we made our day. We still made the 12-hour day. We filmed 6 episodes in less than 6 hours because we would have taken a half-hour lunch. And that's never how fast we did any of this. And so not only were you like really on your lines, but like you were really on your lines because we needed to go faster than usual.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Well,
does mean
Yeah.
that in these episodes, like there's a little bit more jump cutting than I think we kind of like ideally would have done in scenes, but it was just
Probably.
like we have to. But I also remember you just like completely meeting me in that and like I'm on it, don't worry, and you totally were. And I just remember us like really high-fiving each other at the end of that day and being like,
Yes, I do remember a high five. Yes, actually, yeah. I do remember that we did it.
do not slap your palms together.
And I do remember, I have like vague memories of being like outside the office door, just going over my stuff. So I was like on it. Because every time I would enter somewhere, it was always just a burst of something and just word salad.
When you burst into the first episode in Collins and Collins, like so many of the comments were about how delightful that was and how funny it was that like it seems like you were just lurking outside the door to be like hello. So just know that they
That's
enjoy
just how
you.
Max is. That's him normally.
Yeah, 100%. At least in this one, the door was open.
Yeah. And it was my office, I guess, right?
The other thing that I can tell you about this day, because I was looking just to spur my memory through old emails. We were shooting in an office building. It had air conditioning, but because no one was really supposed to be working on the weekends, it automatically shut off at 1 p.m. So not only were you in that suit and we were trying to fly, it wasn't as hot as it was in Lizzie's bedroom the last time we were on the show, but all of a sudden it was like very stale, warm air, and we still had to like just go at a crazy pace. And
now that you say that, it does trigger a memory of it being like warm. Thinking like, oh, this will be great because we're actually in like a building and it's air conditioned.
Yeah,
and we don't have to worry about
we were
being
thrilled in the
hot
morning.
Apartment. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So second shoot day, which you were also there for, we did have air conditioning stay on through the day, but it had to be like arranged in advance.
Because then the other thing I remember about this episode, like I was saying during it, was just the car park being breathtaking, and I can hear Bernie's voice actually right now, just being like, "This is breathtaking!" Like he's just like laughing hysterically about that.
Speaking of how much the comments loved you last time, let's take a peek at the comments for this one. Oh, starting off with Romani Gypsy 92 saying, "Part of me thinks Ricky is cute, and part of me just thinks he's the human reincarnation of period cramps." Wow. That's like a really wide range of feelings about Ricky.
What do you think, Rachel?
Look, I feel like they're like that's ultimately a compliment to you because they are saying that you are cute, but maybe the character you're playing was written to be something terrible.
You did a good job being annoying, but you can't help being adorable.
There you go.
All right, it's good then. I like it. Good compliment.
Lynn Taki says, every time Collins comes in and is so happy, I think, hey, he's not that bad as in the book. And then he starts talking. Yeah, he does have a delightful enthusiasm, but then everything he talks about is so boring.
What? Winnipeg, Manitoba is very exciting, as he clearly said.
Laughter Starts Now says, I love that Collins is the only one who quotes lines directly from the book. First of all, he's not the only one, but it's an easy place to put lines directly from the book because you already have this. But also, what in this episode was quoted directly from the book? It was the car park.
Yeah, definitely the car park. Anytime that something was like quoted directly from the book, unless it was in like the first few episodes, it's a good way of knowing if it was my episode that someone rewrote it.
Sarah Walker also enjoys the car park is breathtaking line. Mm-hmm. Nicole Efro says, that's some serious my girlfriend who lives in Canada syndrome you got there, Mr. Collins. In fact, that was the reference.
There you go.
So cool to have you two here for the memories. Stick around. Let's watch the next one that Rachel wrote that Max is in.
It's great.
Can't stop me.